Welcome to the Sola San Diego podcast, everyone. This is episode number blanking 18, I believe. And we have Steven on the podcast today. This is the owner of the Salon Hub. Steven, has a website that you can go to and stuff like that, but I'll let you kind of introduce yourself. Steven from Philly.
Yeah,
Um, Go for it.
yeah,
The floor
sure.
is
My
yours.
name's Steve Casano, founder of the Salon Hub, which is essentially an online community and education platform for salon suite entrepreneurs. Uh, Nice and simple.
Nice, nice and simple. So I did have a question. So you just market towards suite owners, like you don't market towards traditional salon owners at all?
Not really. I mean, essentially, it's supposed to be salon-based entrepreneurs, so that could include, salon owners, but we really
Hmm.
focus in on salon suite specifically because
Hmm.
these folks are in a very unique position in that they are typically a one-person show, if at most three, right?
Yeah.
So you're doing a lot with a little. And that's where we kind of try to incorporate all of our advice and our teaching and curriculum is all around like, how can you get all this done effectively without so much time commitment? Because we know that you don't have it, right?
Oh, for sure. They have to wear so many different hats. I mean, it's crazy. Like so I do the marketing and social media for Sola San Diego. And just like talking to them and how many hats they have to wear. Like they have to be they have to do their creatives, they have to create content, they have to, handle their money and be like financially aware. They have to
Oh,
do
yeah.
marketing. Like you're pretty much asking them to be the CEO, CFO, marketing director of their own like company. It's like crazy.
Plus,
So,
like the cleaning person, the inventory person, right?
oh yeah.
The head of everything, and they're doing all
Yeah.
the service side of everything, and they're like doing the checkouts, and it just continues on and on and on.
Hmm.
So we're trying to make it
So
easy. Yeah.
yeah, what does the Salon Hub like do from a benefit standpoint for them? I know you guys do a lot of marketing and stuff like that, but just like kind of expand on what
Yeah.
you guys do for them because we have a big community over like 700 professionals
Mhm.
at Sola San Diego. And so, I mean, I feel like this is just such a good like opportunity to for them to maybe take one of those hats off.
Yeah, 100%. So we have a few different things we provide. One is a free online community where folks can ask questions, get feedback, get guidance, but then also share their experiences with their peers in a way that is, really just for others that are operating in a similar situation, just like they are across the country. So that's always going to be free. And we have subject matter experts from our team providing marketing advice and things like that. And as we grow, we're trying to partner with other folks in the financial area and business operations areas to become those, subject matter experts where they can pick their brain and not cost them an arm and a leg to do so. Beyond that, though, we do have online course. It's Salon Marketing 101 that is exactly for salon suite owners. It's essentially the building blocks of marketing so that they can at least better understand how to market.
Mhm.
And it's not just I'm going to try and post whatever I can on Instagram and hope for the best, because that tactic doesn't always work unless you get really lucky. On top of that, we also provide one-on-one coaching. We explored all of the opportunities to potentially perform these marketing services for them, but we realized that, as a solo entrepreneur, money's not always, money's usually tight. Let's put it that way, right? Your budget isn't massive. And for us to have a big enough team to support thousands of people, it just isn't really feasible. So instead of doing the fishing for you, we teach you how to fish essentially.
Mhm.
And, that way it allows you to know enough to be dangerous. So if you do hire someone locally from like, an intern from a college near you, or bring someone on like your niece or nephew, or your friend's kid that really wants to get into the business, right? You
Right.
know enough to tell them what to do so that way they're actually performing best for you.
Yeah.
And then also just empower you to be able to do it yourself if you want to.
For sure. And they can get like immediate success or like feel that like little bit of, dopamine hit when they are succeeding. So a little bit about yourself, like how'd you create the Salon Hub? Like where are you in the beauty industry to begin with? Like how did you get to where you are?
Yeah, so it's kind of a roundabout story. if we go way back, my mother was a hairstylist. So I'm the
Yeah.
son of a hairstylist. I had the smell of perm emanating from our laundry room from a young age, right? So, and I've had plenty of other family members. I have an aunt and two cousins that are in, the industry as well. So I grew up with women that were in it. But beyond
Right.
that, in 2020, I was going to the gym with a guy who happened to be a solo franchisee. And he's like,
Okay.
our marketing person is not doing it for us. We need some help. Can you help us out? And then that turned into, me just kind of starting a business on the side, helping him. And that turned into even more. And so I was actually in your position
Nice.
where I was managing the social media for Sola DMV. So it was like Maryland, Virginia, and then moved to Sola Philadelphia and Sola Pittsburgh and Sola Brooklyn and all these other places, helping them run their social media accounts.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And in doing
I think
that,
we know their group, the Philly group.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
the Bruners. Yeah,
Bruners.
they're,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
They're
awesome,
awesome.
they're an
so
awesome
cool.
crew.
Bo's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, they're big, man. They're hungry and they're big. But so we kind of got into that, and in doing so, I've had over 300 and 400 conversations with individual beauty pros about, hey, why are you here? How'd you get here? How's it going? What do you need help with? And
hmm
90% of them were like, Steve, I can balayage with the best of them, and I can make nails that look like cruise ships, but I have no idea how to operate my marketing. Can you help me? And it
Yeah.
would turn in like I would do all the photos myself starting. And so I
Yeah.
was in every single suite, and every time it turned into like a mini coaching session where it's like, okay, try pulling people away from the wall to take a better photo. Like, don't just take a photo of the back of their head. Like, let's turn it.
Yeah.
Right. And
It's
then
like I'm
so I
looking in
just,
the mirror right now.
yeah, right, yeah,
I feel like I'm doing that currently right now. It is
exactly.
really,
So
it is a
we're going to
lot
turn
for
it into
sure.
something bigger. Right.
Nice.
So we can help
Yeah.
more folks.
I love that. I love that a lot. How many people are in your community currently?
So we just launched we relaunched the community at the end of last year, like technically November, but really we're starting our new refresh in January. So we have 50
Cool.
members right now. We're growing pretty quickly
Perfect.
because we're partnering with a ton of people right now in
Love it.
terms of like who else is supporting, you know, these types of folks from a financial standpoint and otherwise.
Yeah.
Uh, I would expect us to probably be over 1,000 by the end of the year, most likely.
Heck yeah. That's so cool.
Maybe even more.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, everyone who's been joining has really enjoyed it so far. And, we're really
Yeah.
stoked because we're in it just to support them and make sure that they can find success in what they're doing because they are entrepreneurs. And I think they get ignored a lot from the major business podcasting community. And they
Mhm.
are in a unique situation. So we're just like, we are going to be the ones that serve them best because we
Mhm.
know them best. So,
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Yeah, you worked with such a big solo group, and I'm sure you talked to so many beauty professionals. I'm just curious, what's your most frequently asked question amongst the beauty entrepreneurs when it comes to marketing? If there is even one.
Yeah, I mean, everyone just goes, "What do I post on Instagram?" is their first question. And that's a hard one to answer because it really depends on who they are and what they're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
But one of the biggest things that I always recommend right away is look at your bio, right?
Mhm.
In your bio, if you're collecting new clients, right, and you're trying to sign people to put in your chair, do you have in your bio how they can book with you? Because a lot of people don't. And then they're
Yeah.
like, no one's signing up. And it's like, well, you know, this hairstylist wants you to DM her only, and this nail artist wants you to go through their website, and this person only wants you to text. And, this old school person down the street just wants you to call,
Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm.
but no one's telling you what to do, right?
Right.
So if you take it from a client perspective or an end client perspective, make it easy,
Yeah.
right?
A call to action. Yeah.
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 And put it in
I
your
feel
bio
like
because that's what they're going to read.
I feel
Yeah.
like even for just us being like semi-techie, I'm like, I need just the easiest like point of contact, way to do this. Like
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
it's great
I
advice.
I totally agree with you. Like that first, right when you go to someone's page, it's the first thing you see, like their picture, and then you go
Mhm.
down. You go from bottom to top or top to bottom. Reading down, and the bio is very important. So
Yeah,
love that.
100%.
So you have your own podcast?
Yeah, so we have a podcast that we released last year and we're still doing called Beyond the Suite. It's
Mhm.
Awesome.
very simple, right? We just get to interview successful salon suite entrepreneurs and how they got started, what they're doing now, the hurdles that they had to overcome, but then also what their tips and tricks would be for folks that are just starting out or if they're hitting a plateau. Because everyone's kind of gone through that ebb and flow phase. I mean, as another entrepreneur with them, right? I love having that conversation because every story is going to be different. But it's been really, really awesome so far. There's been some folks that have just really crushed it. They knew what they were doing. And I was like, okay, this is your first podcast. Like, dang.
I know they're
You
great
did great.
speakers.
Yeah, you guys
How
should be
many
on
Speakers,
video.
episodes?
they talk all
Oh,
day, you know what I mean? They talk to their clients, so
oh yeah.
they're going to be naturals on the mic, you know.
Yeah,
How many
100%.
episodes have you done so far?
So by the time this comes out, if it's not within the next day, we'll have 6. And
Cool.
we have a few more in the hopper. I want to get to probably 30, 35 if we can by the end of the year.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's a really good number to hit. And I saw you did have a former face of Sola on there as well.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah,
She
Kim.
looked like a really fun interview.
Yeah, Kim's awesome. She was so nice. She was our first one, and she was the only person actually that I interviewed that I didn't know beforehand. And I thought it was a great idea to start with her.
Yeah,
As we kind of got
exactly.
into it. But, thinking about it, I was looking at the guest list before I popped on here. I'm like, everyone is a solo pro.
Oh, that's nice.
Everyone's a
So,
Sola pro. Look
Yeah.
at that. I mean,
it's
it's where you
it's an
came
open
from.
invite, but like, everyone who's really getting after it and wants to be on has been from Sola. So, I mean, it makes sense. It's where we've spent most of our time in the past.
Yeah. I did want to throw this is kind of going off topic a little bit, but I was on your website and saw I thought it was really cool that you give like, guidelines to like designing their suite. I think that's so cool. Like what'd you say, like holiday Hannah, like those kind of things are really cool. Like it's like like and then it shows like the studio decor that you can put up and stuff like that, which is really cool. I do hope that you guys like expand on that because a lot of people really like to take inspo from that sort of thing.
Yeah,
They're like, where do I go from here? Like, I just want my walls to be white, I guess. And you're like, no, well, I mean, you can be as creative as you want. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, we call them decor kits. We're really into, labels and stuff like that. As you could tell, like every, kit that we put up is alliterative because we just want to have some fun with it, right? So we have everything
Yeah,
from like, a Barbie themed kind of suite to someone who's like really dark and witchy. Because
yeah,
I've been in a ton and you get the whole gambit.
you
So
did.
that was really fun for us to put together because we basically got to go shopping on Amazon and put all these things together. But essentially, you know, we just wanted to make it easy. Like put it all on a list. You can just go in and click buy or pick and choose what you like if you want that vibe and give people the opportunity to, again, spend less time doing things once they've kind of made a decision
Yeah,
and help them out. And that's really what that was for. So
yeah.
we're going to
I should
continue doing that. But yeah.
I should
That's
look at
so
your
awesome.
kits for my house. My house is so boring.
Yeah, I think you'd be more of the witchy kind.
Yeah, yeah,
Thoughts?
definitely.
Yeah.
No,
Oh
but
yeah, I
I
think
be
we
more,
definitely
call
are
it
I think
blind.
witchy
I'd be more
Wanda.
Barbie.
Yeah.
Get me in the Barbie kit.
And then just going back to your podcast and all the guests you've had, like what's like a really great takeaway you have from a guest or multiple guests or
Yeah, one of my favorite just one-liners is from one of our guests, Chrissy. She's out of a Sola in Media, PA, and she has an incredible story. So if you do listen to that one, I mean, it's wild what she's gone through to become her own stylist and a business owner and all the trials and tribulations that she's gone through. But, when I was asking her about like what's some advice that you would share with others, she put it better than I ever have. And she's like, don't post and ghost. If you're on there, post and
Mhm.
start interacting
Yeah.
immediately.
okay.
Don't just post and leave it alone and act like it's
Post and
going to have its
ghost.
own
I like that.
Yeah.
life. And I was like, dang, I'm stealing that. I told her I
You're like,
was.
did you
So,
call me
Like,
out
dang.
personally?
You're like, Steve, I know you posted and ghosted on me before.
yeah, right.
Don't do it again.
Not targeted at me.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I was like, oh, shoot. Yeah.
No, that's a really good point. I mean, Instagram engagement, I feel like is what I preach so much because yeah, they do just post and then just hope that it blows up or something, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but you really have to like put some time in,
Mhm.
hashtag time into it.
What would you say are your top three like social media tips and tools?
Yeah, from a tool perspective, is any type of content scheduler that you want to use, please do. We use later.com, but there's Sprout, there's Hootsuite, there's a ton out there. I mean, Facebook and Instagram now have their own versions now. So even if you don't want to pay for it, right, just use one. It's the best way to time travel, right? You don't have enough time as it is. So we always recommend that you batch your content creation efforts and then schedule it out in advance. This way, you're not sitting there every day at the end of your day going, I just went through, 6 clients and now I have to go sit here and spend 2 hours like trying to figure out what to post. Don't do that. That's not a great, I mean, one, you're going to hate it. And then two, it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
So, we always say book out time in your week, not in your day, but in your week to create content. And that way you can hit flow and you can build more than one post at a time. It allows you to kind of really get the most out of your effort and then spend the rest of your week just reminding or building in content collection points within your clients. So that way, we typically say, okay, we know you have off on Monday, most likely. So take an hour or 2 hours on a Monday evening or a Monday morning before you start your day and like create all that content. Look at what you collected the week prior and then start pumping it out and schedule it out. And then that way you just have to worry about collecting and doing one thing at a time and not, okay, I got to plan this whole reel shoot.
Yep.
And do it while I'm also providing a service. And then right after I have to go sit down and write all the captions and do all this and do all the editing. And then your day just gets expanded, right? Like it's tough. People do it and they can do it really well. But it's not recommended, especially when you have so much else going on. So
I know that feeling, of like working all day and you're just like, oh my God, I didn't do a post. Like now I'm stressing out and scrambling and not finding your best or not doing your best work, I guess.
Yeah. And I really like how you mentioned a flow state of it. Like it really, like you can get into like momentum shift in your brain of like, boom, this post, then it goes, it's easier. It comes easier to you in those 2 hours that you were saying.
Oh yeah. Nice. I mean, awesome. Starting is the hardest part, right? Getting from the blank page to starting that. And then once you're in it, you can just pump more than one out at a time and then you're good. You're good to go. At least, that's where we find most people have the most success. And then marketing doesn't turn into like guilt. Because for a lot of folks, when I say marketing, they're like, I feel guilty about it because I don't do it. And then I'm like, well, let's change that then. Let's figure out habits that you could build so that it just becomes part of your day to day, but doesn't take over your day to day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
Love that.
Yeah.
What do you love most about working in the beauty industry?
Oh man. So, someone once told me like businesses are just exist to change states. So you change one thing into another. But I think the beauty industry is really the most transformative industry that you can have. And it's so personal because you're not just helping a company, make more money if you're in like a services business. You're helping someone achieve a look, a vibe, a vision for themselves. And, again, growing up as the son of a stylist, right, I got to see what that meant to my mom, right? And she'd come home and like talk to my dad about it. And I'd be sitting on the couch, probably eating corn chips or something. And then she's like, I totally crushed this transformation today. Like it was so cool. And this was before smartphones really. So she would just have to sit there and explain it. But watching her light up about how she was helping someone like, they came in before an interview and then it was great. Right. Or, stuff like that. But you get to see it all the time with these folks and they're going after it. They're going after their dream. And they're going after their dream in a space that is just about fulfilling the dreams of others. Yeah. And that is so powerful and so cool. And if I can, that's why I'm like, let me help.
Yeah.
However I can help.
Yeah.
Let me do it.
Yeah. Right.
Because that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Is your mom still in the beauty industry currently?
No, one of the big reasons why I kind of started and stayed in the salon suite space, specifically was, she was in a traditional salon for a number of years.
Mhm.
And she was working so much that she ended up having health complications and getting blood clots in her legs from standing so long. So she was forced into retirement, and she couldn't go out and
Wow.
start her own salon where she could make all the rules for herself because it wasn't legal in Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Pennsylvania is
wow.
one of the last states in the country to legalize it. It was like 2017, 2016, something like that.
Hmm.
Thanks to the Bruners, actually. They're the ones who had the
Wow.
law changed, which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
On booth renting?
Yeah, so booth
Okay.
renting is still technically illegal, but suites are
Oh,
not.
oh,
There's
Okay.
right. So there's
yeah.
still some weird technicalities and whatnot. But, for me, it was just like watching her having to retire early,
Hmm.
forcibly. I mean, still kind of, she still technically has her license, so she
Uh-huh.
can.
Yeah.
Um, but she hasn't, in a commercial sense in a very long time. But again, my whole thing is like, if I can get everyone else to have this opportunity and not go through that, then I'm going to do it.
Those
Yeah.
poor
Wow.
stylists, their bodies go through so much.
It's crazy. And like
Yeah.
ergonomics weren't even a thing until like, 2010 when they're like,
Mhm.
maybe you shouldn't be on your feet for 14 hours a
Yeah.
day. Like that's
Yeah,
probably
right.
not
Bent over, hunched over, like
Yeah.
doing the
right.
foils and
Doing
stuff.
one of these, like,
Oh my gosh.
elbows
Shoulders,
out and on
backs.
top. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, no.
Yeah. I've heard like lower back, shoulder, just all this crazy stuff, like you're saying. And that's really valiant that you like, you went through it, with your mom, and now you're kind of like, still in there, which is just
Yeah.
very, very valiant.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
it's the best way I know how to give back, right?
for sure.
What I know and what I can help
It,
with.
it means something to you for sure.
Yeah,
And
that
that
does.
always helps like for what you're doing.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah. It's a great driver for sure.
Yeah. What are your hobbies outside of work, dude? I mean,
Ooh.
like we don't know much, we don't know much about you, like
Yeah.
we met on Instagram was how it went. Like we DM'd and I was like, I mean, I think you followed us and I was like, oh, what's this? And I followed you guys back and saw all your content that you're creating. I think that was
Mhm.
back like maybe during COVID we started following you and like I mean, you guys have like definitely taken a big leap, from that time.
Oh yeah.
Um,
We were just playing around back then, just seeing if it was viable, and then
mhm.
but no, outside of work stuff, I do work a lot because I run two different companies, but uh outside of all that, I'm a huge cocktail guy. So fun fact, back when I was starting my business and I didn't have a lot of income, I used to help design cocktails for like large activations in Philadelphia. I was
Okay.
the Diageo Scotch guy for a while in Philadelphia. So I'm really big into creating like cocktail recipes and things like that and entertaining and all that good stuff.
That's so
That's
funny.
sick.
We were joking about asking if you drink.
I know.
We're like,
I
no,
like
scratch
it.
that, scratch that.
We're like scratch that question. But you are literally a cocktail connoisseur and a would you call yourself like a mixologist?
I mean, sure, we
Oh my
can
God,
call it
yeah.
like a
Let's
kitchen counter mixologist, if you will, right? Actually, my
yeah.
That's
wife and I are
awesome.
building a speakeasy in our basement right now because we have a
Oh
really
my
old
gosh.
Philly row home that has like a stone foundation. It's very small.
Are you in your house
Yeah.
now?
No, I'm at my office.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I
Oh,
love the
gotcha.
background.
Yeah,
Sorry, keep
that's
going.
good old Philly
Yeah.
factory conversions for you.
Right.
But yeah.
That's so sick. Like, would you make like a little content creation spot in that speakeasy? Like, that would look so sick as
Mhm.
background.
It
That would look
would.
so cool.
It would definitely work better than, currently in my basement when I have to take meetings because my wife takes over most of the rest of the house, right? I
Yeah.
just stick in the basement. It does not look good. So if I can at least have that behind me, that would be pretty
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Do some TikTok mixology mixing type of thing.
For
I feel
sure.
like I always get fed those videos on TikTok and I'm just mesmerized by them like making drinks and stuff. I'm like, this is
Yeah. I'm
nice.
like, I know how to make
I'm
a
gonna go try to
sidecar,
make
but
that
I'll
and
watch
botch that.
it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely screw this trick up.
Yeah.
I'll have a beer.
Yeah, right.
Okay, cool. Wrapping up. how can people join Salon Hub? Kind of plug yourself. I know you're the Salon Hub on Instagram, or are you just Salon Hub on Instagram?
salonhub.social on Instagram.
On Instagram. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Salonhub.social. Okay. And then how can people join?
Yeah. So you can go to the salonhub.social in your web browser, and it's the same thing. It is not a .com. Let me be very clear. It is just the salonhub.social. That's all you got to put in, and you'll get there.
Cool.
Really, come say hi, join the community, join a group of your peers. We really want to be able to support you, but then also build a community where you can help support those who are also going through the same adventure that you are. And then beyond that, if you are looking for marketing help, we can provide that. And we just launched in January. We do custom website builds now, because again, after all the time and effort that people are, putting into the vibe of their salon, for them to use like the plain Vagaro template, or like if I see a Gloss Genius that just has the glass building in the background one more time, I'm just gonna be like, guys, you spent thousands of dollars on custom shelving, but no one's gonna see it right away. Like, pull them in with your brand and your vibe. But sorry, I'm getting beyond the point.
No, I get asked about websites all the time. Like, Andrew, should I build a website? How do I build a website? So this is perfect. I mean,
yeah, I mean, we make it really affordable. I mean, that's my biggest thing. Like, our online course is $89. Like, it's as affordable as I can make it without it being irresponsible.
Yeah.
And then our coaching is $125 for a session. And that's going up after we sell the next 50, mostly because we have more bills that we have to pay for because we're building more courses. Get in now and come have a conversation. At the very least, join the community, because it is free, and it's all through the salonhub.social, and you can get there very, very easily. But come follow us, join the journey, enjoy the memes. We're here for it.
Love it. I love a good meme. And then lastly, what if one piece of advice that you'd give a new salon owner, like what would it be?
Ooh. That's a great question.
There's so many things.
Use your current clients to define how to reach your next ones. And by that, I mean, you have a treasure trove of demographic and audience information sitting in your chair, and they're stuck with you for sometimes up to 4 hours. Pick their brain. Where do they go? What do they like to do? How did they find you? All that stuff is readily available, and they can't leave you until they answer these questions, because you're in the middle of doing something for them. Use that. And then use that to help define how you market, right? If all of your clients are only on TikTok, maybe it's worth it to have a TikTok, right?
Yeah.
And just use that to guide your path, right? Be where your audience is, not where you think they should be. And you can do that with the people in your chair.
Love it. Yeah, they're stuck with you.
Yeah,
You're
awesome.
right. For 4 hours, you're like, you got tinfoil in your hand. You can't leave. And they're busy asking, you're busy asking them questions as it is. Why not just throw in some things that'll benefit you?
Yeah. And it's very easy. How was your day? Where do you go to the gym? Like, great. There's a point, right? Start tagging that gym. Are you part of any book clubs? Cool. Can I join? Right. Really great way to start like guerrilla marketing yourself, but then again, shape the way that you want to market and where you want to market.
Well, thanks, Steve. Thanks for the time. I appreciate it. And we appreciate it.
Yeah, guys. Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome. It was great to meet both of you.
Yeah, thank you. So nice to meet you.
Thanks, guys.